Hi everyone, it's me, Arielle, and it's Wednesday Warriors. Today, Kathy will not be making a video, so it's just me, and hopefully this video will be helpful to you. And please keep sending in your questions because we will hopefully get to them all at some point. So even if it takes us a few weeks to get to yours, they will get answered. And my hair is straight, so I don't look like myself because I straightened it. And probably when you see the rest of this video, I'll be back to my curls because I'll be taking a shower. So today I'm going to be talking about appropriate and healthy ways to deal with changes in your life. Someone wrote, "The changes in my life are pushing me to be destructive, pushing me to destructive behaviors, for example, starving and cutting. I suppose that's my control." So I have a few suggestions for healthy ways to cope and to deal with change. The first is pretty obvious, I guess, to journal or write, even if it's just maybe 3 sentences at a time, to make sure that you're getting your thoughts out. A good way to journal is to just let it flow. Don't try to make it sound good or go in a certain direction or really think about what you're writing overly. You want to keep writing and sort of do like a stream of consciousness approach, because it's really so much healthier as far as getting your thoughts out, and the less you think about it, the better it's going to make you feel. The next thing is draw, paint, doodle, whatever you're capable of. You know, if you're just doodling on a scrap of paper while you're sitting in your house, or if you really want to go all out and do a full painting to get out whatever it is you're feeling inside. Those are all really good ways to deal with changes. You can call a friend. A lot of people have trouble with this because it's hard to make them call someone when they're actually feeling really blue. But it's something that you want to remember is there. And even if it's just that you have an index card that you keep in your journal or your wallet that says, "I can call," and you list 3 people that you feel comfortable calling, in a time of need. I think that's really important. Sometimes really all you need is that extra little piece of paper that's a reminder telling you, hey, I can call these people. Take a drive. You can get in your car and take a drive, whether it's a 15-minute drive or a 2-hour drive. Whatever is going to make that feeling lessen, whatever is going to bring you relief so that you don't resort to destructive behaviors. A lot of people find driving stressful, so obviously this suggestion wouldn't be for you if you don't like to drive, but a lot of people find driving very relaxing. So if you're one of those, I would give it a shot. And then along those same lines is leave the house. When you're dealing with something, when you're dealing with change or sadness or frustration or whatever it might be, a lot of what you might resort to as far as destructive behaviors are concerned is in the house. If you binge, food is in the house. If you purge, toilet is in the house. And if you want to cut, those tools are in the house. So leave the house, get out, and take a walk around the neighborhood. And if you walk long enough, those feelings hopefully will pass. Hopefully the urge to do something bad to yourself will be gone. This one's going to sound a little funny at first, but I think you'll see where I'm coming from, and especially if you're feeling like you need some instant relief and nothing is going to hack it, this is something that I would actually suggest doing. Destroy something. Not yourself, but destroy something. A pillow that you can have around that you can tear to shreds or punch or cut up. Even if you don't actually physically destroy it with something, if it makes you feel good to, hit something a bunch of times or smack it around, it can actually get out a lot of frustration, and at least you're not punching a wall or taking a razor to your own body. You can buy a plate from the dollar store, for 50 cents or $1 or whatever your currency is, of course. And, smash it with a hammer. Go outside on your sidewalk or in your backyard. take a hammer to it and smash it to smithereens if that's going to make you feel better, if that's going to get out some kind of negative emotion that you have, and hopefully it's going to fill that void. It's going to suppress that urge, or actually get rid of that urge that you have to do something to yourself. You can have a notebook of paper that you can tear, tear it up. Or take a big marker and blacken the pages, whatever you can do that is going to be so over the top that can get that urge out of your head so that you're going to be okay. It sounds a little silly, but it'll work. You want to get out your frustration or your anger or your sadness on something other than you. One that I really like, that's a little more tame but still can fill that void, is watch a movie that you loved as a kid. Not necessarily a favorite movie that you have now that you've probably seen 5 or 6 times that you have in your house, but a movie that you remember you really loved watching as a kid. For me, it's Shirley Temple movies. I really used to love those when I was a kid, and they always just kind of put a smile on my face. They're really low-key, really easygoing, and just kind of hits the spot for an hour and a half when you're sitting there with a cup of tea. So you might have to make a trip to the movie store and rent a video, but one, you'll get out of the house, and 2, you're sort of treating yourself to something that isn't very pricey and actually can kind of nurture that kid inside of you. So something you haven't seen for a while that you remember really enjoying, go pick it up. Or if you do happen to have it stashed in your house and you haven't seen it for a while, pick it up and put it in and sit there and make yourself watch the whole thing. Take that time for you and kind of try to get all other thoughts out of your head and just do that for a while, and hopefully that'll work too. A lot of the time, if a change in your life is directly related to a person or people in your life, instead of doing the journaling thing, you can write to that person or to those people. Not necessarily a letter that you're going to give them, but something that you can use to express yourself and to get out your emotions at that point in time so that you feel like you can breathe and everything isn't bottled up inside of you. So if you just had a fight with your dad and you're furious at him, put it down on paper. Write 6 pages. If you have 6 pages of anger and frustration inside of you, at least just get it out, and you usually feel better. It's usually like taking a good nap. That's kind of how you feel after writing a letter to someone, even if you know you have no intention of giving it to them. By all means, if you think giving it to the person is going to give you a voice and help you out, that's fine too, but sometimes, especially if it's an angry letter, it's better to sleep on something like that than to just, hit send in the email or drop it in the mail. But that's just something that I would suggest, even if it's a letter to yourself. If you're frustrated at yourself, it's all well and good to write everything down in a journal, but you don't want to write things like, I hate myself so much, I'm so frustrated with myself, I'm stupid, I'm dumb. Don't write things like that. Write yourself a letter and tell yourself what you want to do better and that you want to take care of yourself, and this is why. This is why I want to take care of myself. You have to kind of turn it around and give it a new spin. Another thing that might sound kind of silly, and obviously it probably would be better if you're a children lover, but if you leave the house and you have a park nearby where there's a playground and you're feeling really bad about yourself, just head over to that playground and sit on a bench for 20 minutes and watch the little kids play. And it'll probably bring your spirits up a little bit. It's not going to take your whole mood away, but it's going to be a lot better than sitting in your house thinking of all the things that you can do to harm yourself. And then the other thing is once you go back home, even if the urge hasn't completely passed, you're going to have in your subconscious and hopefully in your conscious mind, the image of what you were just doing, watching these little kids play. And it's kind of hard to hurt yourself after you've been watching little kids be happy and joyful and have a good time. I'm sure this could sound a little silly as well, but if you're really looking for some good constructive advice, suggestions, and especially number 1, something to make you feel less alone, you can come to this collaboration channel and flip through all the videos that we've made over the past few months. There are tons. There is a lot of good stuff here made by everyone, and you can just flip through something that is kind of right up your alley at this point in time and sort of speaks to you in the mood that you're currently in, and hopefully it'll make you feel less alone, because you know a lot of people are dealing with the same thing, and I think that can be really healing.